Thank you, Chairwoman. First, Representative Andrade, line 120, you added promote citizenship in a constitutional republic. You didn't have to file a bill to even do that. The citizens are here. They are active. They are showing up in opposition to this bill overwhelmingly. And I just want to speak to this, members, not just as one of your colleagues and as a proud graduate of UCF Women Gender Studies Department, but also as a student herself. I'm getting my PhD at UCF right now in public administration. And I just can't tell you how transformational higher education has been in my life. I found Women in Gender Studies as a 13-year-old girl who lost her mom to cancer. And in an effort to get to know my mom's story, I started reading literature about Iranian women, telling the stories of Iranian women. And it's what exposed me to the struggles my mom faced, and it helped me get to know her story even after death. And so when I hear the rhetoric from the governor, and when I see bills like this, I see myself in this text. And it's painful because I have so much respect for my colleagues, but I don't feel like this bill respects me. And not only is it personally upsetting, but when I look at the constitutionality of it, as I noted earlier, there are some serious concerns, and we don't have time to rehash it, so I will not do that. But I just want to emphasize that we have 60 years of Supreme Court case law forbidding the government from imposing orthodoxy on a collegial environment. You also heard the concerns about the bill being so vague. I mean, what if a student asks a professor about CRT? What will that teacher do? What's the impact of this bill on the libraries or academic journals? Are universities going to have to end their subscriptions to journals that talk about sociology that might integrate CRT? I learned CRT as a PhD student. I never learned it in undergrad, and it's not even a theory I'm using in my dissertation right now because it's not relevant. That's the point of theories. You pick what is relevant to what you're studying. But for the government to dictate that relativity is wrong, and it's unconstitutional. And it's not the responsibility of the state to define or dictate what we can and cannot learn. That is our choice, especially as adults within higher ed institutions. And for all the faculty that spoke here today, please realize that if this bill becomes law, you are potentially plaintiffs in a lawsuit to contact FIRE about that, because we need your voices beyond the bill's passage to ensure that we are fighting for constitutionality in every shape and form. And I just, in an effort to close, respectful of time, I do want to acknowledge that it's very ironic because line 387 of the bill mentions that we have to teach our students the separation of powers. And I understand that Governor Ron DeSantis wants this bill because of his presidential ambitions, but what happened to separation of powers? We are a legislative body that does not have to do everything the governor tells us to do. Why not expand freedom of speech versus this effort to get rid of it for some? Why not prepare our students for a diverse community and workforce? Critical theory, which you are trying to ban, is any approach to social philosophy that focuses on society and the culture to reveal, critique, and challenge power structures. Maybe some people are afraid of that, but I'm not. Why are we scared of these topics? Why do we not want adults like me in public universities who choose to learn about these theories to have an opportunity to learn about it, to question it, to debate it? I brought with me some of my textbooks from when I was undergrad. I can't use props. I will say the titles include things like Voices from Iran, The Changing Lives of Iranian Women, Manifesta, Young Women Feminism and the Future, and The Politics of Motherhood from the left and the right. These are books that I was assigned to read in my undergraduate years that made me who I am today. And I want to just stress that I feel like this is not just about culture wars, it's also about a class struggle, because whenever you dictate what is taught in public universities, then you are creating an environment where students who can't afford private universities will never learn these lessons. So I know the talking point might be, well, they can go to a private school. Not all of us can go to private schools. If it wasn't for Bright Futures, I never would have went to a university. And so the freedom to express oneself and the freedom to listen, the freedom to be yourself is sacred. I don't want this to be a eulogy for higher education. I want this to be its savior. And so don't throw away higher education with this bill. Join me in supporting diversity. Join me in supporting everyone in this room. Join me in ensuring that no matter who you love, the color of your skin, what your gender identity, disability status, whether you're a veteran, whether you have PTSD, join me in supporting those experiences and allowing them to flourish in higher education, not be canceled and abolished. So please, members, I ask for you to look at me as your colleague, but also as a woman in gender studies major who is grateful for those experiences and as someone who wants to make sure other students have the same. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative Eskamani. Representative